Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is February 21st, 2023. The week started out with a negative tone, and you have tagged the level that we talked about in this weekend or in last weekend's video. So we're going to go and take a quick recap of what the market did today and what to expect in the coming days. So stay tuned. Let's start out looking at the indexes on a performance basis. You see that the Dow Jones Transportation, was the worst performer for the day. It lost almost 3.25%. And the Russell 2000 followed with almost a 3% loss. And then the NASDAQ composite and the NASDAQ 100 lost close to 2.5%. And the Dow Jones Industrial 2%, along with the S&P 500 also lost 2%. And New York Stock Exchange lost about 1.75%. Now, looking at the transportation, let's go take a look at some of the stock in the Dow Jones Transportation. And here looking at this, the list of stock in the transport index. See, most of the airline is not doing well today. See, the JetBlue is down 4.75%, Southwest 4.5%, American Airlines for a little bit over 4%. Then you got the railroad, the Union Pacific, and also we got Delta down here, a little bit over 3%. Well, close to 3.25%, and United Airlines almost 3%, and Alaska Airlines is 2.67%. So you can see all the stock in the transport index today are negative. Now let's take a look at this sentiment chart here. As you can see, the VIX came up to the 22.87. So back in this box here, definitely the market participants are getting a little bit more fearful now. The put-call ratio is sitting at 0.94, and we saw a 2% loss on the S&P 500. And here we see that the up-down volume ratio is 6-to-1 in favor of the down volume, and there were 2,332 more declining issues than advancing issues. And today in the New York Stock Exchange, only 6 more new 52-week high than 52-week low. And here, remember, we talked about there was a divergence between the S&P 500 and the New York cumulative AD line. Well, today we saw that on the downside. And here, looking at the NASDAQ market, we see a 6-to-1 in favor of the down volume, and also almost 3,000 more declining issues than advancing issues. And we're seeing a little bit more new 52-week low than 52-week high now in the NASDAQ market. Today, there were 81 more new 52-week low than 52-week high. And also the divergence in the NASDAQ market between the NASDAQ 100 and the cumulative AD line also got resolved on the downside today. Now, let's take a look at the daily chart for the S&P 500. See that the S&P 500 came down and almost came into this low range of the expected move. It did come down and tag the 4,000 level. And I believe it is just slightly under that. The low for the day was 3995.19. So it came down and tagged the 4,000 level. Remember, we talked about that level and the 4,200 in the weekend video. Those are the two levels to keep an eye on. So for the coming day, we're going to see, will the S&P 500 get a bounce off of this range here and pushes back up and possibly come back to this 4,100 area and back test this, this 4,100 before it reverts back down. So let's go and take a look at the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500. And here on the SPY, we see that it came into this lower range of the expected move. So we'll be watching to see would it come down and take out this composite point of control here, this high volume node at 395.53. If it dips below this composite volume point of control, then we will be watching this 387 area because we're looking for this thing to auction back down to this low level, this low volume zone here. Now, if it does get a bounce off of this area here, then we'd be watching for this 409.72, that possible back test that's near this, equivalent to the S&P 500 4,100 area. So watch these this zone here, this 400 zone, this lower range for the coming day to see will it be able to stay above it or below it. The key is if it dip below this 395.50, this composite point of control, then we could be headed further down. And looking at the ES, the E-mini S&P 500 future, you see that it also came down and tagged the composite point of control today near this 4,000 area here. And right now, we're basically looking to see will it get a bounce back up for this 4,100 area, or will it dip below and take out this low, the lower range of the expected move and come down to this 39.53. Again, remember we talked about this auction here coming down to this low volume zone. So that's the key. We need to see will it be able to get back above the 4,000 in the next day or so, or will it continue to push down and take out the lower range of the expected move and come down to this 39.53. And it is if it's unable to stay above this this zone here, this 39.53 zone, then we be watching for the ES to work itself down to somewhere near this 3,800 level or this low volume zone at 37.95. And here on this market profile chart for the ES, remember we were talking about this scene of the climb level, the FOMC level of 40.73 last week, and it made a couple attempts to come down, but unable to close below it. And you see today it came down and just gapped all the way down. And we're saying that if it come down to below this 40.73, that means it has rejected all the value above this level that people are betting on the FOMC on, loosen up on this rate hike policy. But right now, it appears the market might be repricing it for a continue to be tightening and maybe more interest rate hike than what it originally priced in. So you see today took out this pull low here, the Friday's pull low. And also remember we were saying also is it dip below this 40.73, then some of these January pull structure will get most likely get resolved. And we came down and resolved the January, here's the pull low from this guy here. And also some of the pull low down here and the point of control, and it even came down and repaired the single prints. So today it left some single print right here. I'm going to update the chart later on today, and also a pull low here. But tomorrow we might see a little bit of a bounce come back up and resolve these pull low. And depending on the momentum to see would it continue to push up and try to tag this point of control up here. Now that's a heck of a recovery if it does get back up here to this 68.75 tomorrow. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these pull low, these single print here somewhere around the 40.25 area to get filled. So, but definitely this pull low is to be keep an eye on, and that's somewhere down here near this 4,000 area. The low is 4,002 for today. Now, a couple of the YouTube viewers mentioned to me that I forgot to put the oil, the silver, and the gold analysis on my weekend video that I typically, routinely do. So I've left it out accidentally. So I'm going to make it up. And right now we're looking at crude oil, and you can see that the oil is trying to hold this 75.58 zone here, this zone here. So we'll see would it be able to get back above this trend line and work itself up to this 82, because right now it's sitting underneath below this composite point of control. And if it is unable to get back above it, I'd be looking at this low volume zone to get taken out and possibly come down to this area here near the 72 area. And depending would it be able to hold and get a bounce. If it doesn't, then I'm looking at the 69.57. So if it could push up, then I'd be looking at 82. But if it's unable to hold, then I'd be looking at 72 and 69 area. And here for silver, we see a buyer came in last Friday and bought it back up into this zone here at this 21.80 area. So today got a little continuation. We'll see would it be able to continue to push up to this 22.65. But if it come back down and take out this low, then we'd be looking somewhere down here at this 20 level, because I don't think it's, if it break this low, I don't believe that it's just going to stop here at this 21 area. I have a feeling that it's going to come down and try to establish itself down here in the 20 area. Likewise, for the gold, gold also got the bit back up on the low on Friday, but today it did not, get a positive day like silver did. But although it did come up to this 1856 area and kind of back tested, so we'll see in the coming days to see would it be able to get back above it. If it does, then basically looking at the possibility of maybe moving back up to this 1910. Now there is this composite point of control here near this 1900 area, so that could be a potential resistance there and maybe a little bit of a chop zone. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. But if it take out this low here, which is let me see what that value is. That low is 1827.10. So if it take out this low, then we could be heading down to this somewhere down here at this 1760 area. So when we take out this low, I will update this chart with some of the low volume zone. Then we could get a little bit more accurate assessment of where the next potential rejection zone. And here, looking at the US dollar, we see the dollar is bouncing up. And so right now we're looking at this 104.93. So basically 105 area. We'll see would it be able to come up to this level here, book this trend line, a couple of weeks ago and came up to this 103. So right now it is appear to be trying to make its way back up to this 105. And here's the US dollar future. You could see that it is trying to come up to this zone here, this 104.65 zone. So if we come up here, then I'll be looking for another move up to the 105.86. And finally, looking at the 10-year yield, you see the 10-year yield is back above the 3.9 level now. So I'm looking for this thing to move back up toward this 4.2 and possibly take out this high here at above 4.3. So that's the quick update for today. Hopefully your day have gone well. And if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and be sure to smash that thumbs up to help me promote this video. Thank you for watching and stay safe.